All right, let's start out. My opponent stated that millions were spent on the Iraq War and estimates of $3 million per hour. Didn't stop us in Vietnam, didn't stop us in Korea, didn't stop us in World War II, didn't stop us funding Afghanistan in the 80s to fight the Russians, didn't stop us in 91, didn't stop us in 2001, didn't stop us in Afghanistan. Why would it stop us now? You also quoted Iran. Iran is a country that's been known to be very outspoken against the United States, including with allegations over the Iranian nuclear facilities. You shut down Germany. Germany is just one example. What about South Korea after the Korean War? We funded money into South Korea, and South Korea has now rebuilt themselves into a global power. We failed to rebuild Iraq after 1991, which led to another war in Iraq in 2001. You mentioned that boots on the ground aren't right. They're not good for combat. However, John Kerry, the Secretary of State, stated that even in a region that has been virtually defined by division over these past years, leaders who can't find any agreement for the last 11 years and who are on agreement with very little in general are all in agreement that ISIS has to be defeated. Iraq doesn't want us to be joining the fight. However, it's a global matter. ISIS is gaining supporters around the world much faster than it is losing its devoted fighters. ISIS is committing genocides. Taking on ISIS is a paper written by Liberty Solutions, and it states that ISIS sought to expand its territory into the northern oil-rich areas of the Kurdish regional government of northern Iraq, beginning with the capture of Iraq's second largest city, Mosul. In doing so, it subjected Iraqi minorities to persecution, such as the Yazidis. Chuck Hagel stated, he warned that an acute humanitarian crisis persists in Iraq and Syria, where extremists have targeted thousands of religious minorities for conversion or execution. It is not simply a U.S. or Iraq story. It is a global initiative that needs to be taken against ISIS for the rights of individuals of the world. Susan Rice, the former Secretary of State, stated that advancing democracy and respect for human rights is central to our foreign policy. It's what our history and our values demand, but it's also profoundly in our own interests. That is why the United States should remain firmly committed to promoting freedom, opportunity, and prosperity everywhere. Boko Haram is also just one example of a terrorist group that could be supporting ISIS. There are many terrorist organizations throughout the world that we are aware of, and at any time they could support ISIS or even use ISIS as momentum for themselves.